Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. So The Adam Project is the latest Ryan Reynolds sci-fi adventure movie, and it is exclusively here on Netflix. And it's one that I was really highly anticipating because I myself am a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, and the fact that it's combining sci-fi adventure elements with time travel is definitely something that piqued my interest. And so the general story is we have this guy named Adam Reed, and in the future, in 2050, he's actually like a space pilot slash soldier in a lot of ways. And he ends up going back in time to 2022. And then he meets his younger version, his 12-year-old Adam Reed. And then we have our basically time travel slash sci-fi adventure slash family film. And that's where things get really interesting. So getting to the things that I really enjoyed about this film is first and foremost Ryan Reynolds. So as I stated a little bit earlier, I am a big fan of him. I really enjoy every movie he's in, even the bad ones like the Green Lantern, because Ryan Reynolds is just one of those actors that has a lot of charisma, and he just does so many things that's kind of unique to him, where he's just playing himself in a lot of ways, that he's one of those actors that's really memorable and unique. Very similar to somebody like Nicolas Cage, where he's so good at what he does, he becomes a parody of himself. And a lot of people see this Nicolas Cage elements, and in this case we see a lot of Ryan Reynolds elements in almost every single movie or feature that he does. So that's the first and best thing, and that's Ryan Reynolds. And the second thing that I enjoyed is just the rest of the acting cast. We have people here like Mark Ruffalo, Zoe Saldana, Jennifer Garner, all really heavy hitters, and they're all excellent actors in their own right. But the one that really stood out for me was Walker Scobell, who's actually a new child actor, and he plays the younger version of Adam Reed. And I think he does a fantastic job of really portraying the younger version, but at the same time playing off really well against Ryan Reynolds, who is a veteran actor. And just the interaction between those two, it was just so much fun, very believable, and you really do learn to love these characters. And a lot of all the characters in the rest of the movie, they kind of feel that same way. You get this vibe where you really care a lot about them. But I would definitely say the standout here is going to be Ryan Reynolds, Walker Scobell, and I did enjoy the rest of the cast, especially Mark Ruffalo, but the entire story is really centered around Adam Reed, so these two versions of himself. So the acting in this movie, I think overall, is just excellent. So then another thing that this movie does so well are the special effects and just the entire production quality. So Shawn Levy is the director of this film, and he also worked with Ryan Reynolds on another movie, Free Guy. And you could tell from this movie, this was definitely a big budget film. And originally, this was owned by Paramount Pictures until Netflix brought the distribution rights. So I'll say the entire movie from the beginning end, it really has great special effects, very high production values, and it's a very visually appealing movie. And at the same time, I also enjoyed the audio elements as well. So if you are coming for this for the sci-fi special effects, well, this has it, and it's done really well overall. And so definitely no negatives here, in my opinion, for the overall special effects presented in this movie. And another thing this movie does well is the overall story itself. So even though this is a sci-fi time travel movie, it's really not about that. The main focus of this is about family, specifically Adam Reed, present, past, and also potentially future as well, and everybody else that's involved with that. So the time travel element, it just kind of helps be a part of the story, but it's not the main thing. And watching this movie, I didn't feel at a moment that I was really bored. I always found it interesting. And at the same time, since the runtime was like about an hour and 30 minutes, it doesn't really give you a lot of time to just like get bored, So that is a great thing about the story. And overall, I really feel the story itself, it's simple and fun. Which is something that's really hard to do, especially when you're getting this whole time travel sci-fi thing, because a lot of times people like myself, we might overanalyze a lot of things. And so it's a good thing that you just really focus on the family part, and the sci-fi stuff is more supplemental. For serious YouTubers, check out TubeBuddy, the premier tool news at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below. Now, getting to some of the potential negatives of this film, if you're the type of person who watches a sci-fi time travel film and you want a lot of things explained to you and for it to make sense, well, you won't get this here, because as I stated a little bit earlier, this film is really not about that. It's more of a focus on the family dynamic. And then the other thing is, I was hoping that they would get more things on the future, the future world. I really wanted to see some more of that, and also some more of the time travel stuff too, because I really do enjoy that stuff. And then the final thing is, when it comes to like the villains, they're probably the most least interesting part of this movie. And I think they did that on purpose because they weren't really the main focus of this entire movie. And so basically, if the villains weren't there, well, it really wouldn't matter as much, at least in my opinion. So as you're watching this, you kind of see that as well. So those are my thoughts on the Adam Project. I really did enjoy this film. It was fun. It had a lot of heart, great special effects and production quality. And overall, I think it's just one of those films that you could just watch and just get a smile out of it at the end. And so hopefully there will be a sequel to this, or maybe more movies in this series, because I do want to see what happens in the future or what other adventures they could go on. So if you actually had any thoughts on this or any other movies that you've seen that you enjoyed recently, be sure to leave that in the comments area below. And if you did want to see more of my sci-fi film reviews or show reviews, I do have an entire playlist. I'll leave that in the description area as well. So as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And if you're a creative geek like me, and you want to get exclusive access to more content that I don't put out here publicly on my YouTube channel, then join my Gold Content Creators group, where you're going to get content like this and more for all the creative geeks out there. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and sign up for my Gold Content Creators group.